this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Unusual video this one because it's an in-between one. The last video I loaded about the garden was one of those blast from the past ones where I brought forward an old video of what the garden looked like, and in that case it was back in April last year. So obviously now it's 14 months later. This weekend my daughter's down, Hannah, and we will be doing some work in the garden. So the video I'm going to do now is what it looks like now compared with 14 months ago, but before the work we do at the weekend, which I will then video probably next week. It's my phone tinkling away in the background, having a quick tinkle. Anyway, so we'll get the camera down and I'm going to go round the garden in the same order as that video from 14 months ago. So if you want to watch that first to see what the garden was like then, I'll put an info card up now. Okay, so if you've been away, you saw what it was like at the beginning of last year. Now let's go and have a look and see what it's like now. I'll put the camera down and we'll go for a wander. Right. Right, we'll start over in this corner. Now this bush, when we looked at it in the old video 14 months ago, was a bit bedraggled, didn't have many leaves on and hadn't grown much. You can see this year it's done a lot of growth. Now this weekend we will probably take the top off. It's getting too tall. It becomes unmanageable if it gets too tall, and some of the real extremities we'll take back as well. We've got to go careful with this bush because it blooms on last year's wood, so when we get to sort of February, March time next year, this year's growth will be where it blooms. So if we've cut all of this off, we cut the blooms off, so we take them back by half. Now this bed here, when we looked at it 14 months ago, had hardly anything in it, whereas now there's a lot of planting went on last year. Lots of ferns have been added, primroses, aquiledias. So obviously this brought violets all round this end, lily of the valley. So there's a lot of stuff in here that wasn't here before. The hellebores, elephant's ears. So there's lots of things in here that wasn't here before. Foxgloves, we've got foxgloves coming up. The rose isn't doing so good as it did last year, I must admit. It looks tatty at the moment because the first flush of blooms are dying off now, so those will probably get pruned off at the weekend. The wisteria has been trimmed back. There was a long extension coming out here, that's now gone, and I'm going to maintain it now as just as a little bit of cover for the fence, nothing more. It's not going to be allowed to grow any more than that. The bamboo over there is now growing, which is what I wanted. Unfortunately last year Hannah pruned it. She didn't realise what I was after. I'm after that bamboo coming up to the top of the fence, so it fills that gap in. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Obviously there's bonsai staging. My cymbidiums are outside now, so they've taken over what was a bonsai staging in the old video. That's now for my cymbidium orchids, and the bonsai have got new staging. So some of them have got individual plant display stands and some of them are on others. Now in here we've got this, and this is growing all over the place. That will be gone. We'll cut that right back at the weekend. The fuchsia did actually grow last year, and obviously it died back again in the winter. It's growing again this year. That's coming on. This bush here that has the white blossom on in the autumn, the really long vigorous shoots that are coming up, those will be trimmed back this weekend hopefully. This is all weather permitting, of course. pot full of herbs. Again, that creeper thing, it's getting all over the place. Now, in here we had a Californian poppy, not poppy, lilac, and most of it died, but it looks like some of it might be coming back. Yet to be decided. My Acer that was in the old video is just a nice tree. Then over in here, again, this will be tidied hopefully this weekend, just the long shoots taken off. And the camellia there, we will probably take the new growths back by half. So then coming round here, the spiky bush there, any long extensions coming out will come off to keep it back against the fence. The laurel will be taken right back flat and the height taken off. The extensions out the sides will be left. The idea is it covers the fence. There's lots of planting happened with plants from Carol that have done well this year as well. We had again violets along there. There's seed heads all over the violets. They're starting to spread already. Primroses, there was some bluebells, some snowdrops. This campanula is blooming in many places now. There's quite a few clumps of that. That's newly planted. And in the gravel beds there is a lot of clumps of ground cover. That was all planted up last year, mostly from Carol, some I bought myself. In this corner we looked at a bush that was unidentified. Again, it's getting out of hand, it's getting too tall. I've probably now got to get the steps to trim that, so that will be brought down and back in. We still don't know what it is. It's one of the bonsai stands I did for individual trees there. This conifer's grown quite a bit this year, that's good. Lives in a tub. Then the buddleias that were planted, they were in little tiny pots at the bottom of the staging. Those have now gone in bigger pots and are coming into bloom now. We're having this is called the June gap as far as butterflies are concerned in the UK, where there aren't many butterflies, they're not around. And then come towards the end of June and into July we get the summer flush, which is hopefully when this will be in full bloom and the butterflies can take advantage of it. In the old video that was just a tangled mass. That's all been cut back, that's all been dealt with. Now I'll say it now, but it's probably not going to happen. I want to get the hedge trimmer along the top there and along here, but I don't think I can. My back's hurting at the moment and that's not a good thing to do with the hedge trimmer. In addition to that, with my heart issues that I've currently got, I'm not supposed to do anything strenuous, and I think that would probably be classed as a bit strenuous, so we might not get that done this weekend. It'll be on the list, but it probably won't get done. And then again, some more bonsai staging over here and some more things that were planted up in tubs that are coming on nicely now. The tangled mess up there, having removed all that sort of backdrop that was there down to a reasonable height, leaves the nice red maple, the Acer, in a position where we can see it nicely. Yeah, and I think by the end of this year that's going to be quite a nice sized tree, and with the extra leaf cover that will put energy into the tree. So next year it should grow on quite a bit more. That's the theory anyway. Over here we've got more plantings. This is all herbs and things. That's rosemary, lavender, and this perpetual wallflower that has these lovely pink flowers on. We've got a bonsai on the table. The huge tree that was in that corner is gone. Dead. It died basically, and I managed to persuade the landlord to pay to get it cut down. There's a video about that if you want to go back and have a look. That's a bonsai to be, not yet, but it will be one day. This was another plant from Carol, just coming into bloom now. In the middle there, a bramble's got hold hopefully we'll get in there and get rid of that. And again, all of this tangle here. And then down in here, where Hannah planted some new plants, we've got an absolute outbreak of weeds. So hopefully we will do that bit of weeding. This is the other buddleia. This is the one that Gail paid for, and it's a white one. And again, that's going to be in bloom soon. The Himalayan honeysuckle is currently in bloom. I didn't know what this was, and until we cleared out this area, didn't even know it was in a pot, but the pot was broken, so we potted it up in a better pot, so it's got something to get its roots into. So yes, and a few more things planted up. So this weekend should be a tidying process. There's no major work to do, and I've changed my mind. I was going to put the hedge trimmer along this hedge, but if I cut all that young new growth off, it's all going to fall down in the planted border, and it'll be difficult to get out. So I thought it might be a better idea to leave it till the autumn, when the planted border's starting to die down, to go into winter. And then all the bits that fall down should be easier to collect, because we'll be able to put our feet in there and actually collect it. So that might get left. But again, that would be the long handled hedge trimmer, so I certainly wouldn't be doing that this weekend. That's not even on the list this weekend. So, general tidying, some seed heads to remove, some pruning over there in that corner, getting this creeper out, sorting that bramble out, get these long shoots off. Coming along here, the camellia just back a bit, spiky bush back a bit, the laurel back a lot, and the top off, that bush, the top off, and yeah, and some weeding. Getting quite a few weeds on this gravel bed, and I can't get weed killer or anything on it because it now has plants that I want growing in it. And in addition to that, Mojo comes out here and bites at bits of green as well, so I don't want any chemicals around the garden if I can really avoid it. So there we go. So that's before the weekend's work, and then I will film it after we've done our work. However much we get done, and it is weather dependent at the end of the day. We're certainly not coming out here in the rain, but yeah. And then as far as the bonsai are concerned, the work that I've got to do is what I call tidying. The Scots pine over there, that needs the new candles taken back. This Scots pine has never really been styled in any shape, so I'm letting that grow this year to get some energy into it. Needs the moss taken off. Needs the moss taken off. Yeah? Doesn't do the plants any good. And that little one over there, that little conifer, second one in, next to the larch, that needs the moss taken off. It's a never-ending job, quite honestly. And then this bonsai here, the most important thing to do here is to get the air layer off, because the top of the tree is growing well, but it's starting to weaken. You've got basically the roots in there are probably getting dry because we've had some sunshine. The leaves are turning to autumn, so this needs dealing with now. It certainly needs moving out of the sun. It gets some sun sometimes. So there we go. That's a look round as it is now. And we'll have another look round at the end of the weekend when some tidying, cutting back has been done. And yeah, we'll see what it looks like then. Bye for now.